I am the greatest.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
You won't do shit. Just stick and move. And just waking you up and saying, now stick and move. Keep your hands up.
Welcome to a new episode of the Stick and Move podcast. I'm your host, Trey, here with my co-host, Sam. And today we are honoring the legendary Carl Weathers, and we are going to do a top 5 Rocky opponents. So, Sam, who is your number 5 out of all the Rocky opponents? Who's the pound for pound? Who out of the top 5? Who's the number 5? Number 1 being the best boxer in Rocky history.
And all the Rocky movies. I got 5 fighters. My number 5 being the worst. I got Ivan Drago, bro.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I got Ivan Drago, the Siberian Express.
Dude.
What?
I do too.
Yeah. He is, dude, the guy had a gold medal in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For although his professional record, he was just 1-1. Okay, he had 100 amateur fights, all 100 knockouts, 0 losses, bro. This is ridiculous. And
he's the greatest amateur boxer of all time. 100%.
Yeah, he's the greatest amateur boxer of all time. But the reason I have him on number 5, bro, because he's a drug cheat, brother.
Dude, 100%. That if you look at my notes, I actually have that underlined.
Mm-hmm.
His and the idea. Now, don't get me wrong, he took on the best version of Rocky Balboa. But you know what's something else that nobody talks about, bro, is that when he took on Apollo Creed, it was an exhibition. You think Apollo Creed was taking it seriously? He literally came down to James Brown from the top of the stadium and praising his greatness that he was. He was already retired. He was training Rocky Balboa to fight Clubber Lang, which will come later on in our thing. I agree with you. He is also number 5. I'm looking here on my notes. 6'5". He was a monster. Now, don't get me wrong. When he hit you, he moved your liver, he moved your kidneys, he relocated your rib cage. No doubt about that. He was a flat-footed just jab artist. But honestly, bro, I needed more. If he would have been at least 9-1 or 9-0 or 14-0, all 14 KOs, which most of these boxers have in common, I could maybe move him up a little bit higher. But I'm with you, bro. I have to leave him at number 5. Maybe the best player out of all of them, maybe not. But that's my thought. Go ahead.
Yes, I mean, look, bro. The fact that we didn't, I didn't see him fight, like Clubber Lang or Tommy Gunn or Apollo Creed in a real fight. You know what I'm saying? Being a drug cheat, bro, automatically disqualifies you on my list, bro.
And we saw it, bro. We saw. I mean, he was a chiseled out Russian czar of a god. I mean, look, I feel bad for him because he was actually exiled out of Russia after that loss. I mean, that just goes to show you, how important that bout was, especially during that time towards the breaking end of the Cold War. But look, bro, let me ask you this question. Since we're doing this, my phone's going off. I apologize. Since we're doing this in honor of Carl Weathers, a.k.a. Apollo Creed. If Apollo Creed was in his prime.
Oh.
Hey, guys, Trey here. If you love today's controversial episode and you want to see our channel grow, please drop a like, subscribe, and also comment. Sam and I are always going back and forth with those commenters on our controversial topics and opinions, and we love it so much. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe, most importantly, so our channel can grow and we can give you guys the best content as possible. Sam and I were always uploading multiple videos a week, and we want to continue doing that, and we need your help. So go ahead and subscribe, guys. And most importantly, like I always say, don't forget to stick and move, baby. I took this fight seriously. Do you think this would have been a different fight?
Absolutely, 100%. I think that Apollo Creed would have won 12 rounds, man. I think he just knows how to move. Apollo Creed has the best jab in the business, bro.
Oh, dude.
That was
gorgeous fighter. Gorgeous.
Yeah,
fighter.
So if this was a real fight, where it was not an exhibition, I think it'd be a completely different fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know 99 out of 100 comments on this episode is going to say that Drago should be number one. I mean, he did have the greatest opening line of the fight in that stare down, phenomenal stare down where he goes, "I must break you," you know. But you know what? Rocky was focused. He was on a mission, and the fact here's the cherry on top for me, bro. Is the fact that, he was exiled, but that was it. He calls it a career, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I understand going down for shame of your country, but you have a chance to redeem yourself, you know? All right. So, what is your number 4? I thought you were going to have them a lot higher. I'll be honest. No. But what is your number 4? Talk to me, brother.
My number 4 is Clubber Lang, bro.
Ooh.
28-1 in 28 KOs. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy was, lost his parents at a young age. He was in the orphanage. I mean, he grew up in the streets fighting. He was a bad dude from Chicago, bro. He was a bad dude from Chicago. He knocks out Rocky in 2 rounds, bro.
Yeah, I remember.
I
remember watching that, yeah.
Yeah, Mickey was telling him, this guy's an animal. He's a beast. He's going to tear you to pieces, blah, blah, blah. I'm guessing Rocky took it lightly. Whatever the case may be, he got knocked out. Rocky had avenge, after the insult in front of his wife. And but then Rocky knocks him out in 3, bro. Rocky knocks him out in 3, and that's why I got Rocky over Clubber Lang, and Clubber Lang is my number 4 fighter. Here's
something else I'll also say about his bout with Rocky Balboa is the fact that, you know what, Mickey was, we know he passed away shortly after that fight, but look, for me, Mickey was done as a trainer. He was not in shape anymore to get in and out of the ring anymore. I mean, I honestly think the fact that he let Rocky kind of lose his spirit from his second match, since his rematch with Apollo Creed, to going, what was it? I think he won, 12 straight, defending his title 10 straight times after beating Apollo the second time.
Yeah.
So the idea that Mickey kind of let Rocky go and get into his head a little bit, I think that's a reflection of maybe Mickey is a little bit overrated as a trainer. I'm just saying. I know that's a hot take. I know everybody loves the guy. I love the guy. But I think if Mickey would have been a better trainer, a little bit more alert, I'm not saying Rocky would have won the fight, but I think he would have put on a better show. Kind of reminded me of when Errol Spence fought Crawford. That's the way that fight kind of looked like. First fight against each other.
Oh, yeah. It was completely outmatched.
Completely outmatched. We thought it was going to be a better show than what it was, and it was the complete opposite. So that's cool, bro. That's cool.
So who do you have as your number 4?
Oh, dude, I'm changing my list ever since you rattled my cage with having Drago number 5. I was really hoping you would have him on number 1 or 2 because I was going to cook you, I guess I can say, but we're on the same page. So now I'm kind of thinking about changing it up a little bit, and I'm going to go with Mason the Line Dixon, brother. Here is a guy, another great champion. He was 33-0 with 30 KOs, brother. This is a guy who the reason why his legacy kind of stinks a little bit is because he fought in an era where the heavyweights weren't really. It reminded me of the heavyweights from the early 1980s when all the legends from the 70s were kind of shot. They were kind of done already. They were ploppy, kind of slow-footed boxers. For me, Mason the Lion Dixon. Here's a cherry on top why I can't put him higher than number 4. I think his skill was fantastic. He had that length. He had that good stiff jab. But bro, if you're gonna knock uh Drago for being on roids, you gotta take down you gotta put Mason Dixon number 4 as well for losing to a middle-aged 50-something-year-old Sylvester Stallone
Yeah.
who's taking pills not for so much for health, but just simply so he can get out of bed. And he won the decision, but we know who won that fight. And that's why I had to put Mason the Lion Dixon my number 4. He struggled against a 50-something, I think he was actually 60 if I'm not mistaken, 60-year-old washed out boxer, bro. Talk to me. I mean, look, watching his bouts, Mason the Lion Dixon, one of the greatest nicknames of all time, very unique. Watching those bouts, bro, I did love it. I thought his style can translate. And by the way, after that fight, he didn't quit like Drago. He actually got back in the ring. He had 10 more fights as a champion, and that just goes to show you that he had that resolve. So I put him at my number 4.
Okay, awesome, man.
Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Tommy Gunn, bro. The Clone Ranger, bro. I got him as my number 3.
Go for it.
Yeah, he's 23-1 and 23 KOs, 45-1. All he wanted was Rocky Balboa to help him train, bro.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted, and he felt like he was being ignored and undermined. I mean, Rocky just didn't take him seriously, whatever the case may be. But the reason I got Tommy Gunn, number 3 is because he actually fought champions, bro. The guy actually fought champions. The guy had an amateur career. Clubber Lang didn't. Tommy Gunn did. He was 45-1 in the amateurs, and he wanted this fight so bad he took it out into the street with Rocky Balboa. 23-1 and 23 KOs. I have Tommy Gunn as my number 3.
I agree with you, man. He was a part of a creation. I mean, he was there. I mean, he was a media creation by what was it, George Washington Duke? The mastermind promoter. And he also had Rocky Balboa. I mean, Rocky Balboa is a legend. I know that there's some people that love and hate him. Rocky Balboa is overrated because he had over 20-something defeats and stuff like that. But look, bro, he was a legend whether you like him or not. The thing that gets me, because I don't have Tommy Gunn here, the thing that gets me as my number 3, so that should give you an idea, is the fact that he just wasn't coachable, bro. He was not trainable. He was, to me, a version of Andrew Golota, a street fighter with gloves. And that's what he took it to when he fought Rocky Balboa. So I'm okay with you having him number 3 because, honestly, he did actually fight champions. And, bro, that guy had a vicious uppercut that transcended time. So for me, Tommy the Machine Gun, I could see that. All right.
So who's your number 3?
So my number 3, I'm actually going Clubber Lang, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And look, 34-2, 31 KOs. You know the story. You went over it as well. One thing that I think the reason why my number 1, number 2, and I can reveal that yet, whether it's Apollo Creed or Tommy the Machine Gun, he had weak defense. His defense was like this, wide, okay? Which is why he struggled in the second bout against Rocky Balboa. You know, every time he went in, Rocky Balboa would just go with the straight jab. And not to mention, although he was probably the king of hooks, I mean, those wide hooks that are coming around, every single one of these boxers, I honestly believe, with the exception of Drago and the exception of Mason the Lion Dixon, would eat him for lunch. I just don't buy into his fighting style. His footwork was okay, but he was so undisciplined. I had no choice but to put Clubber Lang my number two. I mean, look, I mean, that's what I mean. The only advantage I can maybe see besides his power was that he was a southpaw. You know, southpaws with that kind of power is very tricky. You never want to get into a bout with a guy like that. So that's why I have James Clubber Lang, my number three. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, the reason I had Tommy Gunn over Clubber Lang was just the fact for the amateur career, and
Right.
and the fact that Clubber Lang got knocked out in 3 rounds by Rocky,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of showed me that the first fight was pretty much like an overwhelming beating that Rocky
Right.
didn't expect.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but I get it, man. I respect that number three.
All right. So who is your number two? Talk to me, brother.
I'm gonna say it was Hulk Hogan, bro. The
That's
brawl
it,
he
bro.
had, the brawl he had with Hogan, bro, scared the crap out of Rocky, bro. Scared the
did.
crap out of it. He was scared. Hogan picked him up, tossed him like a rag doll, bro. Hogan would have destroyed Rocky Balboa. It was for entertainment and for a promotion, but Hogan took it seriously. And I mean, Rocky had to take off his gloves, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I got him at number two. I think it was an exciting fight. It was something unexpected, and people still talk about that to the day.
You know why I'm okay with that, bro? Because that was actually pretty common back in that time. Didn't Muhammad Ali fight, what was his name? Antonio Inoki, the wrestler?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
same thing. I mean, and it kind of looked the same way. Look, to fight a behemoth of a man like Thunder Lips,
Thunder.
just
Okay, go ahead.
look, bro, I wouldn't want to get in the ring with him. The way he manhandled him, I mean, Rocky was trying his best to lay in.
That he was a good opponent for Rocky Balboa.
Well, look, like I said, Ali fought a wrestler. He struggled. So it's not, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's two different sports merging. Guess what, bro? We're seeing that today in the YouTube era.
Yeah,
with
dude.
these YouTube era boxers coming in. They're doing the same thing. UFC is crossing over to our side. So I understand where you're coming from. I love that pick. You want to add any more to that before I give you my number two?
It's just that I will never forget that episode. I mean, well, that fight, it just freaked me out. And I mean, Hulk Hogan was the thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was just a perfect combination to the boxing of the greats of Rocky Balboa and Hulk and Thunder Lips. So, anyways, who's your number two?
Look, my number two is Tommy the Machine Gun, and exactly like you said, he had a tremendous amateur career. He beat Union Kane for the title when nobody wanted to fight Union Kane. You remember that guy, dude? That guy there was a point in that guy's career, like I've said about boxers like Mosley, when I used to watch Sugar Shane Mosley, I didn't think they were beatable. And here comes this kid, barely getting trained by Rocky Balboa, comes as a naive kid and dismantles him with hellacious hooks, hellacious uppercuts, and just shows you the talent that he had. Now imagine if he had the discipline. I brought it up earlier when you picked him up early on your number three, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he would have had that discipline to listen, remember Adonis Creed, Apollo Creed's son, he wanted the mentorship from Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa took him under his wing, and he listened, and he became the champ. That is the trajectory I could have seen Tommy the Machine Gun have if he would have taken that seriously as well.
Yeah.
Too bad he did not. To me, Tommy the Machine Gun, man, if he would have just You know, that street fight injured him permanently. He never got back in the ring. That's the risky part about being in a street fight. You know, anything can happen. And if anything, that just ruined his career. What did you think of when you found out that there was an actual street fight with Tommy the Machine
Dude,
Gun
I
and
thought
Rocky Balboa?
I thought Tommy was gonna smoke him, bro. It's like a football play. It's like a football player that knows that can throw hands, bro.
Right.
I think
right,
he was
right.
just he was too he was too he was a lot bigger. He was younger, and
Right.
he was hungrier than
And he was
Rocky, bro.
huge,
And he was
huge.
huge, bro. And
Yeah.
so I thought he was gonna knock out. He was gonna hurt him, destroy him worse than than anybody has. But the fact that he handled it well in the street, it was amazing.
I couldn't believe that Rocky Balboa actually took it to the street, gave it to him, and then George Washington Duke onto the bus and touch me and I'll sue, knocks him in the middle next week, and the rest is history. And
Wow.
Rocky Balboa goes into another realm of being a hero in the sport, now crossing over to street fighters. So, but I mean, if you know anything about Rocky, that's who he was before, you know, he became an established
Mhm.
boxer. He was a hustler. That's what hustlers do. They take it out to the streets. So obviously, you and I both have, the one and only Apollo Creed. Talk to me. Why is he your number one?
He's my number one. 47 and 46 KOs, bro. The guy is the one that taught Rocky how to beat Clubber Lang, bro.
Dude, I was about to say that, bro. Go
Dude,
ahead.
man, you're a good fighter, but
Mhm.
I'm a great fighter.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And he was right, bro. He
Hmm.
was right. Apollo Creed was stronger than him, the best jab than any of his opponents. I mean, he was a well-disciplined boxer, bro. The perfect form, the best hands, the best feet. I mean, the guy was just a complete package, bro. Apollo Creed will live on as long as the Rocky name lives on, bro. So will Apollo Creed.
The idea that he was 47-0 at one point
Yeah.
with 47 knockouts. And it took a miracle on a rematch. And to be honest, let me ask you a question. Did he need that rematch against Rocky Balboa, even though he won the split decision the year before?
And I don't think he needed it,
Yeah,
but there was something that didn't let him sleep at night.
right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that goes to the legacy, bro, that we've
Yeah,
talked about. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's what legacy is, bro. That's
Mhm.
why in order, like what we talked in our last episode about Errol Spence, like what will make Errol Spence an Hall of Famer? Man, well, if he goes and beats Bud,
He has
I
to,
mean,
bro.
yeah, he goes back and beats Bud. Canelo goes back and beats Bivol if they ever have a catchweight. We know that 175 is way too much. But anyways, the fact that he couldn't sleep right, knowing that Rocky Balboa, who he considered being just some street bum,
Right,
took him all the rounds and hurt him with body shots, broke his
right.
rib, bro. Broke his rib.
Let me ask you a question. Go a little bit off topic, but on topic, sort of. If Mac Lee Green, the boxer that hurt his left hand, he was supposed to fight Apollo Creed for that January
Oh
1st
yeah, yeah.
uh, fight. Do you think if he never got injured, bro, what would the story of boxing be? Because we never would have heard of the Italian stallion Rocky Balboa. What would the story have been told? Would Apollo Creed still be alive? You know, years. I mean, after Drago, would that bout have ever have happened? What do you think the future would have been like if he never got in that ring with Rocky Balboa? Talk to me.
If he never got in the ring with Rocky Balboa, it would hurt two legacies.
Oh,
One,
talk to me.
Rocky would have never been a champion. Rocky would have been a nobody, no good bum, working in a warehouse, fighting nobodies, being a sparring partner, and just wrecking his life. His life
Right.
was downhill, bro.
It was. It
Um,
was actually.
and Apollo Creed, he was a name in his world. He was a big name, but he needed
Yeah.
that Rocky Balboa fight because it became the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? And it eclipsed him to wherever he was at. It just made it huge, bro.
And I'll say this to my deathbed. His footwork, bro. His ability to jab. I mean, in our theme song, we have, it's there with Duke Evans, his trainer. Say you got to stick and move. Nobody sticked and move like Apollo Creed because he had
Yeah.
that gorgeous athletic footwork and speed. I mean, there's the reason why he was 47-0, all 47 KOs too, by the way. Unbelievable. Nobody ever went the distance with him. And here comes this thumper, southpaw, slow-footed, flat-footed boxer, takes him to the edge of death.
Yeah.
And to me, in my opinion, that rematch is the greatest rematch or greatest boxing bout in boxing history. I don't care what anybody says. To me, that is number one, the greatest fight of all time. Do you have any thoughts about the rematch there?
Look, this fight between Apollo Creed and Rocky.
15 rounds too, by the way.
For 15 rounds. And let me tell you something. It inspired.
Mm-hmm.
It inspired millions of people
all
over the world.
Dude.
The heart that they left in, the blood, sweat, tears they left in training and in that ring inspired a lot of new fighters. A lot of boxers till this day, they listen and they watch this fight and it gives them life to get up and go forward and train. It was a legacy. There will never be another fight like it. It was the best of all time.
That's one of those fights, I will say, bro, that not only was a benchmark in boxing history, but it is up there with the greatest event in sports history. That rematch, what we got out of that, being the underdog that Rocky Balboa was, and here comes an Apollo Creed determined to get his name back, his good name and legacy back. And the fact that they stood toe to toe, gave each other 100% of every inch that they had. And the fact that it came down to the last count from the referee, we'll never see anything like that again in sports history, much less boxing history. So we'll leave it at that. We both had the same number one. Okay. So, Carl Weathers just passed away, and we're doing this to honor him. And I genuinely believe Apollo Creed was the best of all the boxers. But let's talk about the series for a little bit. What is it about Rocky? What memories do you have to the series of Rocky?
The memories I have is a guy that from the bottom going up like millions of us do.
Yeah.
From not wanting to do something but having to do something, from the life challenges, the circumstances we're in, and the will to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when I would see the movie, it gave me inspiration to say, hey, you know what? I got to survive my situation and I can overcome whatever I'm in. I mean, come on, dude. It inspired everybody, man.
I'll say this about the Rocky franchise, brother. It was a great baton, like a handoff of a baton of from Bruce Lee. After Bruce Lee passed away, here comes Rocky, now bringing in a bunch of new boxers, even to this day, that are inspired by the movies of Rocky, even though it was a fictional character based on many other great fighters. And I told you this story. I even told you this a couple of days ago. I remember staying up as a kid watching the Mexican version of Big Brother, and they had this little straw weight, super bantamweight boxer on there who was a champion. And Sylvester Stallone comes out as like a guest. I guess, I don't know if they paid him to come on there, but he didn't know the Spanish language. They were just taking pictures with them, that kind of thing. And he brings out his belt. Here's another a boxer from another country can't even speak the language to Rocky Balboa, but you can tell the interpretation on Rocky Balboa. Sylvester Stallone, sorry. Well, either. And offers him his belt, says, I could not have achieved this belt without you and what you did for me. That is what the Rocky series was, man. It influenced an entire multiple generations and future generations to want to get into combat sports. And to me, the Rockies were phenomenal, some better than others. But at the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. It's about that story. So let me ask you this. Which one was your favorite Rocky?
It had to been the first one.
Yeah.
Rocky 1 was my first one because that's where it started from. It was from scratch. It was about uplifting yourself and not wanting to do it, but you had to do it. I mean, come on, man. These movies inspired David Goggins, bro. I mean, it's inspired so many people. But yeah, Rocky 1. How about yours?
Mine is also Rocky 1. I consider Rocky 2 just Rocky 1 extended. You know, it's the same one. I always tell people, I'm a big movie buff for those that are watching. I always tell people when they ask me, what's your favorite romantic movie? It's Rocky all day long. You know, why do you fight? Because I can't sing or dance. You know, phenomenal lines in there, that kind of thing. And we'll leave it at this. So Rocky 1 is my favorite as well. Should have won all the awards like it did. I'm totally okay with that. What are your thoughts about Carl Weathers, the man?
Dude, great actor, man. Funny guy, great action. An action actor. Dude, all his movies are great, bro. Action Jackson, bro. Predator. What was the one he did as in the golf course?
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. I mean, the guy was just, he was great, man. At everything he did, you know, he definitely, there's been a lot of people that have passed away. Dude, this one got me. It got me,
bro. Yes,
this one got me because he's somebody that I watched for so many years in my life, throughout the years. And so, I mean, man, awesome, bro. Awesome actor.
I'll say this too about him, and then we'll sign off. You know, if you knew me as a kid, I was obsessed with the Rocky movies. Apollo Creed, he was a villain, but at the same time, you rooted for him.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but when Mickey passed away in the series and Apollo Creed became the bigger voice, or Carl Weathers, it made the movies a lot more obtainable. It was fun, you know, and you look forward to seeing him on the screen. From his performance as Dylan and Predator, you know, when he meets Arnold Schwarzenegger and they do that little arm wrestle and you know, when they're battling each other. I mean, he's had iconic scenes to Billy Madison, like you said. He is truly missed. I think about him a lot because my childhood cannot be written without Carl Weathers, because I watched that guy religiously, whether it was the Rocky series or Predator or anything like that. You know, he was just a joy to watch. He is so sincerely missed. I know our little podcast will probably never reach anywhere near him, or his family, or the people that watched Rocky. But for the most part, he was important to not only you and I, but also to the boxing community, the fight combat community, and just people that enjoyed watching an actor give 100%.
Yeah,
he is sorely missed. And man, like you said, that one stung, man. That one stung when I found out.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll leave it at that, guys. Do you have any final words for our viewers out there?
Just, I would like to thank everybody for liking and subscribing and sharing our channel and commenting. And we're trying to get to all the comments. And if there's anything y'all guys want to talk about, let us know in the comment section. We'll get to it and make an episode.
Beautiful. I couldn't say it any better, guys. Go ahead and leave us comments. I am Stick and Move Podcast. You get a message from Sam. He's Stick and Move Sam at 75. And like I always like to say, don't forget to stick and move, baby.
I am the greatest.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.